podcast in which we take an adult and critical perspective into the world of cartoons and animation and analyze how they affect the pop cultural landscape at large. I'm one of your hosts, Nicky.
And I'm Tooch.
Yeah, we're doing something a little different this week. Nina is trapped in the microphone-less wasteland of Boston, and so we can't do a proper episode this week. But we didn't want to leave you hanging, so Tooch and I are going to talk about the Harry Shearer thing.
Yeah, Simpsons.
Yeah, Nina gave us the go-ahead because she never got that much into Simpsons, despite how much I've tried.
That's weird. How do you not? Like, Simpsons is always one of those things to me, like, it's not something you get into, it's just a part of life.
For me, it wasn't, like, in high school, I deliberately got into The Simpsons. I found a website, and I watched, like, as much of it as I could.
Ah, I see. I just sort of, like, yeah, because, like, they run it on TV, at least they did, like, 4 times a fucking day, so, like, me as a kid, I was just like, oh, hey, it's every episode of The Simpsons, I've seen these.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the shit.
Yeah.
So, Harry Shearer is leaving The Simpsons.
Yeah, and for those that don't realize the gravity of this, understand that The Simpsons has about 5 voice actors and 600 characters. So, it could be anybody, and it'd probably be just as impactful, I guess, except for Marge's voice actors.
No, I think it's the same if anybody were to leave.
Yeah, that's true.
When Pamela Hayden passed away last year, we talked about this on an earlier episode, that was the first time they've had a death, I think, since Phil Hartman, who was like a guest voice actor doing Lyle Landley, Troy McClure, and Lionel Hutz.
Yeah.
And when he died, they retired all of his characters, and that sucked because his characters were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, like, to kind of make up for Lionel Hutz, I've seen some episodes where they try to, like, make Gil Gunderson more of a thing. And Gil Gunderson, here's the thing, he's terrible. He's just not funny at all.
Oh, old Gil.
Like, he's almost funny, but he isn't.
Yeah, that's true. I've never, like, I'm aware of Gil, but I've never been like, hey, remember that great bit with Gil?
No, but, like, there are so many great bits with Lionel Hutz, and they were trying to have him muscle in on the territory, but the fact that Lionel Hutz just kind of smiles his way through his horrible life, like, Gil doesn't have that. And then, when Pamela Hayden died, they retired Krabappel, and, that's a huge character.
Yeah.
So their policy has been, for the entire run of the show, that if they lose an actor, they retire the character. And it's never been a, like, critical deal before. But now they're losing Harry Shearer. Now, to be clear, he's not dead or dying. He's leaving the show. The exact nature of why hasn't come out, but I've heard it's got something to do with the fact that he's been doing the show for 26 fucking years and wants to do something different for once. Yeah,
that's, I think, and that news came, like, at an interesting time for me personally, because, like, I was just randomly watching, like, some video review about, like, the Simpsons ride at Universal Studios, by some jerk with a camera. He just recently joined that guy with the glasses, if anybody cares, but, like, his thing is he reviews, like, Disney rides and theme park rides, which is weird, but he pulls it off, but anyway.
His name is That Jerk with the Camera.
Some jerk with a camera, yeah. But anyway, so he was talking about it, and he released the episode, like, I think, like, a week before this news dropped, but he mentioned that they wanted to, like, the ride's storyline was originally going to be a field trip to the nuclear power plant, but Harry Shearer refused to be in it, so they couldn't use any of his characters. And apparently it was, like, a monetary issue. Like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. But
that was the other thing I read, that it's something to do with, like, merchandise sales or stuff outside of the show itself.
Yeah, so apparently, he seems to just have, like, a rocky relationship with The Simpsons as of late.
The thing is, he's gone, apparently, like, I've seen a couple of things, like, they're trying to get him back, but I doubt it at this point. And, if I'm wrong, we'll follow up on this, but, where does this leave us right now? Well, the show has been picked up for 2 more seasons.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So, we're going to be looking at 2 seasons without Harry Shearer. And if you're not familiar with the characters he plays, most importantly are Principal Skinner, Ned Flanders, Mr. Burns, and Mr. Smithers.
Like, yeah, so that's also like half of the show.
He also plays Otto the bus driver, and this is actually something that's pretty interesting to me. He plays Eddie and I think Lenny or Carl. But the thing is, he makes up half of those duos, and Lenny and Carl and Eddie and Lou don't work on their own.
Absolutely, no.
I mean, sometimes Lou can work playing off of Wiggum, but, like, you're going to lose, there's going to be some collateral damage with losing Harry Shearer. So the question is, are they going to retire all these characters, or are they going to break their streak and replace them? Are they going to have all these characters beaten up by Shredder so they can change their voices?
Oh, man. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm sure at this point maybe they don't even know. But I have to imagine I don't know, because it's either they're shitting their pants or they have some contingency plan that's still not great.
Every character on that show is a legacy role. They're all irreplaceable.
Yeah.
26 years. It'll be 26 years this December, let's be clear. But, still, that's a quarter of a century that these same people have been doing these voices. They can't be replaced.
Yeah. Yeah, they really can't be. So I don't know, if it's 2 more seasons, I think, the best thing for them to do, obviously, would be to gracefully step down, but they still have those 2 more seasons, so those 2 more seasons are gonna suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna be what we're doing now, is we're gonna look at a 2-year-long super dark age, and then the show's gonna be over, if they've got any sense. Because it can't come back from this. It simply cannot. And that's what I say. If any of them were to leave, you can't come back from this. Because, Julie Kavner and Yeardley Smith play much smaller pools of characters. Yeardley Smith only plays Lisa. I think the only character that she ever played that wasn't Lisa was Lisa Jr., that Peloponnesian girl in that episode where Homer was a missionary.
Oh, right.
I think that's literally been it. And then, vignette variations of Lisa, which doesn't count, obviously. And then Julie Kavner has just been Marge's sisters and Marge's mom. But still, legacy roles, extremely important characters.
Yeah, I can just see, because this happens a lot. When somebody so important is well, screw this, I'm out of here, then it's not that great of a leap of logic to be okay, well, then everybody else is probably donezo too. They're probably going to back out because they're just this isn't The Simpsons anymore. Harry Shearer's gone, and he doesn't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Let's just end this. So, I absolutely expect other people to step down
as soon as they can, because they're probably locked into contracts, and I guess Shearer wasn't. I would be astonished if this show lasts past those 2 seasons, or if those 2 seasons don't literally get canceled. That would be odd. That would still be weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
For the Simpsons to be manually canceled mid-season,
that would never happen. I can't imagine a world where that would happen, even if Harry Shearer isn't involved. Yeah, people will watch it. People will watch it, and there will probably be people who still claim it's good.
Yeah,
statistically speaking.
We've talked about this before. I don't hate New Simpsons. It fills the space all right.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not the culture-defining juggernaut it was 20 years ago.
No. And I have the same relationship with The Simpsons I do with any show that's been on either longer or just as long as I've been alive. Some number of years ago, usually around middle school or after middle school, I was just you know what? I've watched enough. I'm done. And it's no judgment. The show could still be great, but it's I've been watching this for half my life. I'm done. I'm good. So I haven't seen The Simpsons in quite some time. I've seen several of the new episodes scattered throughout my life, and they haven't been bad.
Yeah, some of them have been. There have been occasional ones that are actually spectacular. How long do you think it's going to take before you reach that cycle with One Piece?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
The one exception?
Because One Piece is about the journey, Nicky. It's not about the destination. They've got a goal.
That's very convenient because they'll never reach that goddamn destination.
No, man, he knows how it's gonna end. He told some little boy's dying wish was that he know how One Piece ends, and Ichiro told him. So now he took that to his grave. That wasn't supposed to be a joke, but I guess it is.
I mean, this is one thing that I need to follow up to make sure is completely correct, but I think that if you enter in your cable information to a website that you can get from fxx.com called simpsonsworld.com, I think you can stream everything if you already have FXX in your cable package.
Probably do. I don't know. Yeah.
Now, if you do, that'll end your life. So it's like a good thing that I don't remember my goddamn cable password ever.
Yeah.
And like every time I ask my mom for like, what's the Fios password? She gives me the Wi-Fi password, and I'm like, well, this is good for me. Because I've said for a long time, like, the second it gets on Netflix, the world will screech to a halt.
Yeah, just industries will shut down temporarily for however long it takes to watch them.
Like, they made those goofs in the Every Simpsons Ever commercials that it's just like, it was like the like some kind of rapture where people just like disappeared from their cars.
Yeah.
But like once people can do it on their own time, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people don't even have to like, they won't even get up to get food during the bad episodes.
No, they'll die.
Yeah, like you'll get to season 9, it's like, oh, Principal and the Pauper's coming up. I can get out of here.
You'll need that machine from that really fucked up old timey cartoon about the gluttonous pig boy who gets like locked in this weird evil factory, and like this evil villain has a machine that like lifts open his mouth and shoves donuts in there, and then the kid wakes up and it was a nightmare. That's a really fucked up cartoon now that I describe it. I haven't seen it since I was like 13.
That was also one of the season 5 Treehouse is a Horror.
Then that was a reference. I remember that now.
Yeah, Homer like just crammed him.
Yep.
No problem.
And died.
And then the devil who was doing it made a reference to a celebrity. I don't know. That was like a big thing in like classic Simpsons. I was like, I don't know these celebrities. I was 4 at the time.
That was my experience with Mystery Science Theater 3000. They would drop some old ass references.
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Well, we know whatever is going to happen is going to suck. But it's like, if this is finally the excuse the show needs to end, because it should have ended a long time ago. Like, it has been Frankensteining along for a while now.
Yeah. I was just gonna, like, it's not even a matter of, like, the show itself. It's just, like, no show can last this long. No show should. I don't think any show is able to. That's just not something that you need to do with a story. Comic books? Yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Oh, 26 years for a comic book is nothing.
So, yeah, but just, like, don't make The Simpsons into a comic book, even though there are Simpsons comic books.
Maybe they're okay. I don't know.
I haven't read them.
You know that Harry Shearer played Derek Smalls in Spinal Tap?
I did know that, but I forgot. Then I remembered again due to this news, and then I forgot again until you told me just now. It's been a roller coaster. That's cool.
I gotta rewatch that movie.
I do, too.
I mean, if you missed last week's episode and came here expecting triplets of Baville, we're actually putting that on the back burner for now. The thing we do with movies is that we use them as like a gap in our schedule for us to recover. And because we're already taking a break this week, that's not necessary. So we'll definitely get back to that, but we're not doing it anytime soon. Next episode is going to be Clone High. And then if you want to get started on our next big thing, and we're going to start doing one big thing a month so that both us and you can, chip away at it as the month goes on.
Yeah.
It's going to be Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, which Nina and I haven't seen any of.
You guys are in for a treat. It's going to be great. It's going to be nautically themed. It's going to be gross sometimes. It's going to be great.
I mean, that's what SpongeBob was. SpongeBob got really gross sometimes. Like, I always hated that episode where, like, Squidward choked on the fork. I hated that bit.
I thought you were going to say when Squidward ate 1,000 Krabby Patties.
No, that was alright.
And then got obese and exploded.
I think my heart just stopped.
Yeah.
And that's from the shoe tying episode. Anyway. Also, one of these days we've just got to slam jam SpongeBob seasons 1 through 3 and I guess the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was about to say, oh god, no, but then you just said up until the movie. And it's like, okay, that's doable.
Yeah, and good. I have a coworker who like had never watched SpongeBob somehow, and the first thing he watched was the movie, and he was not equipped to handle that.
You really gotta work your way up to it.
That movie goes to some fucking places, man.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it. I just know all the trailer shit. All I know is like there's a weird lyrics changed cover of I Wanna Rock, and then also
there absolutely is,
and then the Hoff.
The Hoff is in their live action.
Yep.
He gets stabbed in the ass.
Oh, All I ever saw was the trailer shots of them riding him like a dolphin.
Yeah, while that happens, there's like a fight scene on him and he
God.
gets stabbed in the ass.
Imagine if trailers weren't the worst and a nation went in to see SpongeBob and just saw out of the blue giant live-action Hasselhoff with no warning.
I mean, I guess it's the Hideo Kojima style.
Yeah.
The Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right?
Nobody knew Raiden was going to be the star of that game, and maybe they would have been more accepting of it if they were able to brace themselves. Who knows?
I liked Raiden. He's attractive.
That's all we're going to talk about for now. We'll be back next week. Hopefully that episode will be out on time. I've been trying my best. I got a concussion last week. My dog ran into my head.
Oh!
Yeah, she's like a train.
Yeah.
She's a train wearing the skin and fur of a dog. And that rattled me up really, real good.
Oh my god. Like, at first I was worried, and then you said your dog ran into you, and I was like, wait a minute, how? But then I remembered your dog and went, oh, okay.
Yeah, we were like wrestling. Okay, let me see if I can try to paint a word picture. We're like roughhousing, and I had her kind of underneath my left arm, like she's facing backwards, struggling to get free. She does, so I sort of roll backwards a little bit, from the force of her popping loose, and somehow she is already, as I'm reeling back from her getting loose, she's already running the other direction towards me at full pelt. I mean, she can go from 0 to full speed in one stride, and I fall into her forehead, and she hits me, and I didn't even know I had this part of my body, the space in between my eye and my eyebrow. There's a bit of bone there. That's where she nailed me. I thought she popped my eye straight out of my skull. And then I spent like the next indeterminate period of time trying to learn if that fall asleep during a concussion thing is real. And apparently it's not, but maybe it is. And like I thought I was better, then I woke up the next morning, I'm like, oh no. Can't walk.
Oh.
I even had like a customer at work. It's like, you seem really out of it. Are you sick? I got concussed.
I got concussed. Oh my god. That's amazing. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
I did not expect to laugh that hard at that.
We were talking about The Simpsons. I haven't laughed at The Simpsons in 14 years. Blah.
God, so
I'm going to try to figure out my cable password and see if that FXX thing is real.
yeah, get back to me on that.
Yeah.
I'll watch Clone High.
Yeah. Nina and I are going to watch that this weekend when she comes home.
Cool.
We know where the headphone splitter is, so it'll be fine.
Awesome. Just like old times.
I've been Nicky.
And I'm Tooch.
Funny both times. And thank you for tuning in.
I wanted to, at first I was contemplating on whether to just pretend she was there or just go, I'm Nina!
I think both would have been good.
You guys need to pay attention and focus. We got a podcast to do. I'm going to read the news.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Blop.